This segment is brought to you courtesy of Caribbean American Weekly, a newspaper owned and operated by Caribbean Americans. Read the latest edition at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. To like us on Facebook, to advertise or to subscribe, visit us at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. To advertise with the Caribbean American Weekly publication for freelance assignments to distribute at your business place, visit us at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. Or to meet a marketing representative at our office, call 718-771-0988. That's 718-771-0988.
Good day and a warm welcome to everyone. Today in the studio with us, we have a very special guest, Mr. Leo Gilling, who is the Diaspora Strategist and Engagement Advocate and Chairman of the Jamaican Diaspora Taskforce Action Network. Good day, Mr. Gilling. How are you?
Good day. It's good to hear you. Thank you. I'm fine.
Lovely to have you with us. So, Mr. Gilling, could you elaborate on why it's crucial to celebrate figures like Dennis Brown and Bob Marley during Reggae History Month, and how their legacies continue to influence Jamaican music today?
All right. I'll take those persons one at a time. I'll take Dennis Brown first, right? Dennis Brown, a young artist, recorded his first single back in 1969 and made national headlines. Was really instrumental in bringing forth rocksteady reggae music, transitioning from rocksteady into reggae music, lovers rock, what we call lovers rock. And as kids, you know, when we heard of the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson back in those days, our Michael Jackson was Dennis Brown. You know, had the flair, the smile, you know, the look. Dennis Brown, we grew with Dennis Brown. The entire country grew when people took time off from their music when they are going through puberty and adolescence. Dennis Brown developed his skill, developed his voice, and we watched and listened as Dennis Brown moved into his various voices. So we could hear from the time he was singing the song "No Man is an Island," you know, and you to where he now sings "Love Has Found Its Way," and you could hear the difference in the tones. So we grew with Dennis Brown, and we grew with all of his hits from the 1960s when he went into songs in the mid 70s when they came out with the 45, the disco 45, where they would play Dennis Brown at the first part, and then later on the DJ come in. You know, it was a lot of fun going through. So what Dennis Brown had done is brought the possibility of reggae music being singers' music, being dancehall music. So singers became not just roots and culture or rock steady, but rather also dancehall. So we would go to dances and you would hear Dennis Brown on a dub plate and you know, guys win with clashes with Dennis Brown's voice. So that kind of development we heard. Dennis Brown, his voice became so powerful to Jamaicans. I could have, as a youth, compared Dennis Brown's voice to a Nat King Cole, and I only found out recently that Nat King Cole was one of his major inspirations. Dennis Brown's inspiration was Nat King Cole, and so they both have the same kind of flair and voice control. Really very, very nice. And I'm talking about his music now. We're going to get into his legacy later. Just about 2 years ago, long after Dennis had passed, Rolling Stones, announced that Dennis Brown, his voice, the best voice throughout all singers throughout the world, he's number 67 among all singers in the world. Number 67, which makes him number one in the Caribbean, number one in Jamaica, number one in South America. This man has transcended all the best voices that you can think of across the world. He's number 67. Bob Marley came about 96 or 97. I consider Dennis Brown to be a better singer than Bob Marley, who's a better writer. Has more influence in that way. But Dennis Brown, number 67 in all time singers, that makes it a humongous achievement, right? For him, out of 200 singers that were called up on throughout life, Dennis Brown was number 67. So we're happy to have that kind of flair for our Dennis Brown. As I said, we grew with him.
And Mr. Bob Marley?
Dennis Brown early was identified by Bob Marley himself as the crowned prince of reggae. Bob Marley said that's the best singer Jamaica has ever seen, and that's his way back in the 70s. So can you imagine? He has grown into being just such a big. So his worth. He left and went to England, developed himself, met his wife, and developed his ability to play music, to make music, to create good sound. So Dennis Brown left this legacy, just upon the world. When he sang, you had to listen, you had to dance, you had to respond, you had to respect who he was. Bob Marley, a different kind of person. Bob Marley came out of the country, right? So they both have pretty much same kind of living experience, coming out of the depths of the inner city, and Bob Marley left St. Anne and went to Kingston and met his Wailers, Bunny and Peter, and they made music. Most people don't know that Bob Marley was singing love songs from early in the 60s. Love songs, ska, and turned into rock steady. And then later on went into early reggae music, and the parted company, the Wailers parted company, and Bob, for about 7 years, wrote some of the most eclectic music loved by everyone in the world, music that's inspire a lot of other persons to do well. Bob was a person who took reggae music from Jamaica and took it to the world to let them hear that the sound, just the sound of the reggae music, it is will reach to your heart and to your bones, and the lyrics can get to your mind to make you make changes, behavioral changes in the world. Every corner of the earth, Bob Marley has influence. And let me say this. We look at Bob, most Jamaicans look at Bob from a musical standpoint. I stopped looking at Bob from his music prowess because he's that good. He's way beyond anybody else. But it is economic impact. Let's see this. The Minister of Tourism announced the other day the tourism impact that this movie that was made on Bob Marley, the One Love biopic, that's going to cause an influx of tourists to come into the island. That's just a small impact of what Bob has done. Bob has revolutionized reggae music so that everybody in the world, Japan, South Africa, all of Africa, all of the Caribbean, play Bob music, and want to be like Bob. So economically, he has unimaginingly created a world economic impact. Culture. When you look at Bob, his impact on culture, you think about red, green, and gold. Back in the day, these colors conflicted with the Jamaican colors, But and all of a sudden, you're looking across the world and everybody is wearing red, green, and gold. That is not of Jamaica color, but it's a Rastaman acceptable color. But Bob made it so that everybody wears red, green, and gold. And you can take the example. Look at all the social media platforms and the impact of the movie that released across the world yesterday. And see, what do you see? The first thing that pops out at you, red, green, and gold. That Bob took that to the world. Once upon a time, style, fashion. Once upon a time, I read in an article a couple of days ago where Cindy Breakspear, there was an article that says Cindy Breakspear dating dirty pot smoker. That's what they called Bob back in the days. Once upon a time, you're in Jamaica, you could not get a job if you have a Rastaman's dread. Back in 1963, how bad this was, Prime Minister of Jamaica sent out 2 police officers that he wanted Rastaman dead or alive. And in Coral Gardens,
Mr. Gilling?
there was, yes.
Yeah, we have another interview at 4:30, so we need you to keep the answers short because we've been here for almost 20 minutes and that's just one question.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the impact of Bob Marley in creating the culture, the lifestyle, improving what people look like when they go out to seek jobs. Now everybody's wearing a Rastaman dreadlocks, and they can do anything, become policy makers, leaders, and Bob did all of that. So the impact of Bob Marley is what it is. It's way beyond his music.
In your article, you mentioned that Reggae Month could benefit from highlighting more soul and depth. Can you expand on what specific elements or aspects of Jamaican music history you believe are currently underrepresented?
Beres Hammond, 1975, released a song by the name of One Step Ahead. His first and second and third albums were all love songs. All love songs. Bob Marley released several songs that were love songs, slow songs that sounds like American songs. Toots and the Maytals, Daddy. How many songs that we've released back in our culture, in our country, that represented love music, and we used to call us sweet boy or love boy or barefoot pants wearers and stuff. There was a culture of music that is missing. The missing part where we sing love songs and we 3-step. All of that is not captured in our month, in our Reggae Month. And Reggae Month is reggae music is Jamaican music. There are also calypso music and mento music that were captured back in the 40s and 50s and 60s that are not a part of the Reggae Month, that we need to capture those, because reggae means Jamaica. Jamaica means reggae. And there's no difference. When we go out and we say Jamaican music, we're talking about reggae music. So reggae music has several different types of styles, roots and culture, dancehall, rocksteady, ska, early reggae, sweet boy music, or lovers rock. And it also has love songs, calypso, mento. Those things are missing. So we need to capture it, not just only as a music to repeat, but rather to create an academic flavor to it. Look at the music from how it was created and what it is, so we can carry it on. A lot of people are taking the music different places in the world and making ska their own, and we can't allow that. So we have to capture our music as it was back in the 60s and the 40s when big bands used to play. When big bands used to play reggae or Jamaican music. That's what I'm talking about.
So thank you so much, Mr. Gilling.
No problem.
Diaspora strategist and engagement advocate and chairman of the Jamaican Diaspora Taskforce Action Network. So lovely to have you. Hope to have you back again.
All right, Sue. Thank you.
This segment was brought to you courtesy of Caribbean American Weekly, a newspaper owned and operated by Caribbean Americans. Read the latest edition at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. To like us on Facebook, to advertise or to subscribe, visit us at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. To advertise with the Caribbean American Weekly publication for freelance assignments to distribute at your business place, visit us at www.cawnyc.com. That's www.cawnyc.com. Or to meet a marketing representative at our office, call 718-771-0988. That's 718-771-0988.